You spent your whole life taking care of everyone else, waking up early, making breakfast, solving problems, offering comfort. You never complained. Even when tired, you smiled. Even when sad, you gave warmth. Because being a mom, a dad, a grandparent, that was your greatest role. But now the silence in your home speaks louder. The kids grew up, the grandkids are busy, and visits became quick messages, if they come at all. You look at the table that used to be full and wonder, did they forget about me? Do I still matter? Maybe you don't even say it out loud. You pretend everything's fine, that you understand how busy they are, that you don't need attention, but deep down, something feels different. Today, this message is for you, for the one who held the family together and now feels forgotten. Because no one told you this, but you still matter, and you deserve to be cared for too. Sign number 1, when they only call you for favors. Have you noticed how often people only reach out when they need something? Not to check in, not to ask how you slept, not to hear about your week, your pains, your memories, just to ask for a favor. Grandma, can you watch the baby today? Dad, could you pick something up for me? Mom, can you take a quick look at this for me? Quick, always quick, as if your time didn't matter. As if you were always waiting, ready to be useful, as if your life now only existed as an extension of theirs. And then they say, sorry I haven't called. Things have been so busy. Busy, always busy. Busy never includes you, and it hurts. Not because they're cruel. You raised them with love. You bathed them, held them, taught them to walk, to eat, to be human. You gave everything. You were everything. But now when all you long for is a phone call without reason, a visit just to chat, a long warm hug, no one shows up. Barbara, 74, told me the other day, my phone only rings when someone needs me, never when someone thinks of me. She said it with tears in her eyes, sitting in the same rocking chair where she used to hold her grandkids. Now the chair rocks alone. She waits without complaining, but with a heavy heart. And the most touching part, she still says yes when they ask, even when it hurts, even when she feels forgotten, because a heart that has spent a lifetime loving doesn't forget how to love. But even the strongest love gets tired when it's only called to serve. You deserve more. You deserve to be seen. You deserve a hello for no reason. A grandchild calling just to tell you about their day. A daughter bringing a slice of cake because she remembered your favorite flavor. A son-in-law who listens, not just asks. You're not the family's helper. You're the foundation. You're the one who held it all together when life fell apart. The one who put food on the table even when you had almost nothing. The one who stayed up at night until everyone got home safe. But now, who takes care of you? Maybe you've asked yourself that, silently watching TV in the late afternoon, holding the remote with a heavy heart. Maybe while looking at old photos, wondering how everything changed so much. You're not wrong to feel this way. And more importantly, you have the right to ask for more. Not more chores, more presence. Not more obligation, more affection. Don't accept being remembered only when they need something. You're not needed out of convenience. You're needed out of love. And if they haven't realized that yet, maybe it's time to gently teach them again. Not how to walk like you did when they were little, but how to love you back. Sign number 2, when your voice no longer matters. Have you ever felt like your voice doesn't carry weight in your own home? Not because you whisper, but because no one listens anymore. You start to speak and someone interrupts. Oh, Mom, that was in your time. Dad, things are different now. Grandma, it's just not like that anymore. And slowly they silence you, kindly but deeply. You offer advice here, a suggestion there, and realize no one takes it seriously. They hear, but they don't listen. Or worse, they let you talk, then say nothing back. James, at 77, told me he once suggested a cheaper way to remodel his son's house. He spoke with care, with experience. After all, he was a builder for over 30 years, but his son didn't even respond, just ignored him. Hired a young architect who charged twice as much, and later still complained about the results. James didn't argue, he just swallowed the pain and said, it's like my stories only matter when I'm telling them to the grandkids, but when it's time to decide something, I don't exist. That's not drama, that's real life for many. Your hair may turn gray, your strength may fade, but your wisdom only grows. Every wrinkle has a lesson, every scar, a story, every quiet moment, a world of understanding. You've seen the world change again and again. You've seen hunger, war, progress, technology. You've seen your kids grow up and forget to ask how you made it through. Now everything you say sounds old-fashioned, as if your thoughts had an expiration date, as if your stories were just background noise. But they're not. They are dignity. They are experience. They are truth. You don't want control. You never did. You just want to take part, to belong, to offer what only someone who has lived, truly lived, can give. Margaret, 69, told me, I only speak when I'm asked. And even then, I'm afraid of being a bother. That means she's learned to stay silent just so no one feels uncomfortable. She's gone from being the heart of every conversation to becoming a silent presence in her own home. But it doesn't have to be that way. You still have so much to teach. You see things others don't even know they're missing. You can prevent mistakes they don't even realize they're about to make. More than anything, you deserve to be heard. So if your voice has been pushed aside, speak up. Look your loved ones in the eye and say, I'm not from the past. I'm still here. I still have something to say, because listening to you isn't a favor, it's a privilege. Sign number 3, when silence feels heavier than age. What hurts more, the pain in your knees or the weight of silence? The kind that doesn't scream. It just settles into the walls, the air, the chest, slowly, quietly, until one day you realize it's everywhere. You wake up, make your coffee, toast some bread, open the window. The same sounds as always. Birds outside, the car across the street, the neighbor dragging a chair. But the sound you want to hear, that familiar voice, a grandchild's laughter, the unexpected doorbell. It never comes, just the clock, counting time that no one fills. Your house used to be full, people laughing, opening the fridge, asking for blessings. Now everything is a memory. Your spouse's favorite mug, the chair your grandson used to spin in, the graduation photo of your daughter who's always too busy to call. Silence doesn't shout, but it echoes louder than any noise. Robert, 81, told me that every Friday he puts on the striped shirt his granddaughter gave him. Because once she said, Grandpa, you look so handsome in this. He still hopes she'll stop by, like she did when she was little. But she's grown now. She has college, a boyfriend, her own life. And he understands it, but his heart doesn't. That's the cruelest part of silence. Your head understands, but your heart suffers. You tell yourself they have their lives, their jobs, their kids. But when you look at the empty couch, the extra plate still set at the table, the phone that hasn't rung in days, the loneliness grabs you by the throat. And when that late afternoon sun shines through the window at an odd angle, you catch yourself asking, will tomorrow feel just like today? Not the chores, the absence, the lack of voices, of warmth, of presence. That's when silence feels heavier than age. Because aging isn't just about a changing body, it's about a changing house, a changing routine, and people who leave without ever really saying goodbye. But listen closely, you were not born to be forgotten. You may have more wrinkles, fewer steps, more memories than plans, but your heart beats just the same. Your need for affection hasn't gone anywhere. Your hunger for connection, conversation, love, it still burns quietly inside you. And the saddest part? Sometimes your family doesn't even notice. Not because they're cruel, but because they're distracted. Because the world moves fast and forgets the most important things. So I'll say this, don't keep that silence as if it belongs to you, because it doesn't. You can say, I'd love more company. I miss hearing your voice. Come have coffee with me. That's not weakness. That's love asking to be let in again. And if your family understands that, the silence can become music again, laughter, warmth, a moment you actually share. And even if the house stays quiet, even if the phone doesn't ring as often, never forget, you still matter. Silence may be powerful, but your love, your story, your presence is more powerful still. Sign number 4, when you pretend you're fine, just not to bother anyone. How many times have you said, I'm fine, even when you weren't? How many times have you smiled with a tired heart? How often did you hide the pain in your joints, the breathlessness, the nameless sadness, just so you wouldn't get in the way? You who spent your life caring for others, who held everything together when it was falling apart. Now you fake strength, even when your body's crying out for help. Why? Because you're scared of being a burden? Ashamed of feeling sad? Worried no one has the time to listen? William, 76, once told me he had dizzy spells for 3 straight days. He didn't tell anyone. I didn't want to worry my daughter, he said. On the 4th day, he fainted and ended up in the hospital. Even there, he asked them not to tell his grandson, because he had a school exam. That's the love of someone who thinks caring means disappearing, of someone who's learned to shrink themselves so others can shine. But shrinking hurts, and silence leaves scars. Because while the world moves on, you fade into the background. You learn to disguise your needs, swallow your fear, call everything just aging. How many times have you said, this is probably normal? How many times have you cried in silence? How many times did you long for a hug but didn't ask? That silence can make you sick, because caring for yourself isn't selfish, it's survival. You are not a burden, you matter. Those who truly love you deserve to know how you really are. Not just a quick, I'm fine, but a conversation, a moment, a truth. And if they don't know how to ask, teach them. Teach them that your feelings didn't vanish with age, that you still feel fear, sadness, longing, that there's no shame in saying, I'm not okay, that asking for help is strength. Carol, 68, once said that she kept her loneliness hidden for years, until one Sunday at lunch she finally spoke up. "Sometimes I just wish someone would ask me if I'm happy." The table went silent. Her children glanced at each other. Her son-in-law looked down, and her 14-year-old grandson stood up, hugged her, and said, "I'm sorry, Grandma. We forget that you feel things too. Sometimes you have to speak, even if your voice shakes, even if you're afraid, because those who stay silent too long forget who they are." So next time someone asks, "How are you?" think carefully before answering. And if you're not okay, say so, because you deserve to be cared for, to be heard, to be embraced. And those who truly love you will be grateful you trusted them enough to say it. Sign number 5, when you feel like a memory, but you're still here. Have you ever felt like you're only remembered in old photos? They talk about you when sharing stories from the past, as if you were a beautiful memory, a distant figure, someone who used to be important. But what about now? You're still here, still breathing, still feeling, still loving. You haven't become a photo on the wall, you are present. Yet somehow they see you as part of what once was, as if your time ended, as if your voice belonged to yesterday. And that hurts because you don't want to be a chapter already closed. You want to live this page, to be part of now, to make plans, simple ones, a walk, a lunch, a visit. Helen, 73, once told me that her granddaughter asked, "Grandma, what was the world like when you were young?" She smiled and told her stories. At the end, she asked, "And don't you want to know how I'm doing today?" The girl laughed softly and said, "I didn't think that was very interesting." That sentence echoed in Helen's heart for weeks, because in that moment, she realized something. We are often turned into the past before our time, but you're not done yet. You still have dreams, even if no one asks about them. You still have joy, even if it hides in your chest. You still have fears, even if no one sees them. And worst of all, you start to accept it, to stay quiet, to say, "Go ahead, don't wait for me." You stay behind, out of love, out of habit. But it's not fair, because yes, the years have passed, but you are still here, alive, present. You still have so much to give. A secret recipe, a laugh that heals, a glance that comforts. You are not the past. You are a living chapter in your family's story. If they only remember you for your old stories, if they only mention you on birthdays or holidays, then maybe it's time to say, "I'm still here. I still belong. I'm not just someone who once loved you. I'm someone who still does." Life doesn't end at 60, 70, or 80. It evolves, but it still asks for love, still asks to be seen, and you deserve all of it. You are not just a memory. You are the present. And if no one saw that today, let this message remind you, you are still here, and you deserve to be treated like it.